G'day good people, welcome to Eat My Feed. We eat my feed for them tasty treats. My name's Corey, and on today's episode we're going to take a look at a post on the Yukai community and social group. It was put down by Rio Kanjin, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there man, where social enterprise Yarrow Water looks to expand, and this has been put forward by Sky News, or covered by Sky News. This is a very controversial topic with bottled water in the area of Yukai around Mount Warning. Now I'm not looking to make friends or enemies over this, I just want to express a few of my own points of views, as I see a lot of hate at Yarrow Water over the past year, and it's starting to look sometimes as quite a bit of lynch mob mentality, and I always think there's two sides to every story, so hear me out. Now there's lots of community members that are against the whole endeavor, especially with bottled water. And Julie Firkins down here has said that what an utter whitewash of an ugly industry and those in it. I live down the road. Sorry, Julie, if I'm mispronouncing how you meant to write this, but this is how it comes out to me. They have operated illegally and outside their permit for years. The younger of the family believes it is their right because the families own the land for 150 years. So bloody what, I ask myself. It is not post-World War II. Actually, it is post-World War II. We are living in a world after World War II, and the world has changed. Exactly. Partly because we're living after World War II. Let's face it, not so far away there are farmers losing everything because of a lack of water. Yeah, and how much water does the agricultural industry use? While these people are riding high on polluting the planet by taking what belongs to all, not just some. Firstly, on that subject of riding high and polluting the planet, if you own a car, Julie, and anyone else who's watching this, do you know that your car is filled with the petrol from the spoils of the Iraqi war? Literally filled with the blood of Iraqis, and that many other conveniences that you enjoy every single day are coming from the spoils of the planet? I'm just saying this because we tend to be hypocritical, very hypocritical, when we start to criticize these kinds of things. She goes on to say, just to clarify further, Yarrow is the label used in Coles and on Qantas. Wow, it's on Coles and Qantas, pretty good for a local business. Apart from the truck drivers who illegally haul this subterranean treasure, beautiful writing, it is a family concern for us locals. I totally understand why that is, totally understand. I'm not going against that, by the way. There are of course concerns with the industries. No offers of employment that I know of. Well, we'll get into that in a second as well. There's a reason why Rio actually posted this on the thread. It is just scary that if I might need to sink a bore for water in the future, it will have been sold off. This industry is fundamentally destructive. Now look, Julie, I'm not having a big go at you. I've just seen a lot of this kind of talk in the area. It gets very one-sided, it gets very tribal, and it's a lot of emotion. And again, as I'm saying, there's a lot of lynch mob mentality that's starting to happen, and I don't personally want to see anyone get hurt over it. Now Rio, the cheeky devil, he pointed out that she in fact is buying bottled water. He says, is that bottled water I see? Really? Can you actually criticize an industry that you support, and a corporate giant at that, instead of a local business that contributes significantly to our country's indigenous communities? Anyway, I'll leave it there, but to anyone who is against this industry, any water in your beer, in your canned food, any water in the vegetables that you eat, any water in so many things that you may or may not, but probably at some point consume in your life, contains water from someone else's backyard. Now look, I'm not saying that I want water to be coming from the base of Mount Warning. In a perfect world, I would prefer for it to be left alone and not tapped at all. However, water is becoming one of the most scarce resources in the world, and the water under Mount Warning, which is not really a secret anymore, is some of the best in the world. So let's take a quick look at what Sky News has to say about Yarrow.
Something that's of particular interest to you and I is about one former dairy farmer that had been operating in the Byron Bay hinterland for generations, and they've now partnered with the local Aboriginal people to create an Aboriginal owned business bottling natural spring water located at the base of Mount Warning. Let's take a look.
This is actually really big that Sky News is covering it. Let's check out the website here. Beautiful marketing campaigns. I just got to say, look, this whole Indigenous stuff might be utter crap. It might just be purely a marketing campaign for them to look good, to look socially acceptable. But if you start to dig deeper, you start to see that Yarrow also has the Yarrow Foundation, and they do things like providing safe, clean drinking water to Indigenous communities in the desert. They also help to improve eye health with the Fred Hollows Foundation. Now I'll keep this quick, but this is a promotional documentary video about how they're helping the Indigenous people in the communities out in the outback. helping to install a clean water filtration system. How many of you can claim to have done that yourselves? I know I can't.
The water is contaminated with nitrate. We don't know what caused nitrate or how it happened or how it got into the community drinking water.
So their water is contaminated with nitrate.
Exists between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians.
I think I've seen this woman around town somewhere.
Many of us Australians take clean, safe
By the way, I don't have any affiliations with them at all.
drinking water for granted. The reality is that it's not the case for many Australians. And step by step, Yawuru Water is trying to address this issue through the Yawuru Foundation and the establishment of projects in disadvantaged Indigenous communities.
Okay, so they're taking water, clean water that all of us get to enjoy and have the luxury of consuming, which we're very lucky for and very privileged. And they take it out to Indigenous communities in the outback and give them fresh water so they don't have to drink the water that is contaminated by nitrate. Some of the most recent Foundation's projects include safe, clean drinking water for remote Indigenous communities and trauma therapy for young Indigenous children who have been affected by severe trauma. So this is the new facility that they're building to expand.
With the new facility we're putting in now, that'll give us a great opportunity for training. So we want to be able to bring Aboriginal kids on site, and they can learn to use filling lines and labelling machines, and that type of training is something that it's not just stuck with water. It could be in making biscuits, it could be in any sort of manufacturing. So that's a very exciting thing for us in the future.
Now look, this whole thing could be an utter lie. What he's saying, again, could just be some grand marketing ploy. But at the same time, they might actually be doing this stuff. They might actually be trying to help on some level. Okay, I'm getting to the end here, but we might ask why Rio posted the article in the first place. Hey!
Pickers and packers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Rio. Happy boy.
And warehouse people.
Look at that. Look, Rio, I'm sure that you don't drive your forklift every day smiling like that, or maybe you do, and congratulations if you do, man. I wish I had that kind of enthusiasm for my work. The point is here is that a local lad who could otherwise be unemployed, smoking bongs every single day and living on the dole, is working at this facility. And that's why he's done this post in the first place. And so I ask you, if you were to protest this plant and to shut it down, what would happen to his job? What would happen to the jobs of everyone else who's working at the plant? What would happen to the Yawuru Foundation and the good work that they're trying to do? I think there's many different ways in which you can look at this thing and see the positives. And maybe that by just simply protesting it and trying to tear it down or be against it might not actually be the most progressive way forward. I wonder how many people out there like yourselves who are against this endeavor have actually gone and knocked on their door or tried to get in contact with the people who run this business and ask them what they're really about. And maybe some of you have, so please write that down in the comments. I'd love a heated discussion. More than anything, I think what I would really love is for people to open their minds and not just get one-sided on the subject, but to maybe actually try and think about ways in which maybe the community can work with Yawuru Water to make sure that they do actually fulfill their promises. Because I don't think you're going to get rid of this industry. And again, I'm not connected with Yawuru Water. I don't support the industry. Like, I wish there wasn't bottled water. I really do. I wish it didn't come in plastic like it does. I wish for many different ways in which it could be done better. But just have a think about it, guys. Anyway, big love to you all. Let's get a intense debate going on. Follow me at Instagram at Heartcore Papyrus or Corey Mark Fisher. Also follow me at Facebook at Heartcore Papyrus. Or you can check out my website at www.heartcorepapyrus.com. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.